Hi everyone, and welcome to 254 Youth Policy Cafe, Episode 1, Introduction. So my name is Samantha Luceno. I'm a Resource Mobilization and Partnerships Engagement Officer at the Kenya Civil Society Platform on Oil and Gas. I think we'll start from the left, going right, for you to get to know my colleagues as well. So left.
Hi everyone, I'm Stella Mutuko, a research and policy analyst. I'm currently working at ID Insight as a senior associate, and it is a pleasure to be in the first episode of 254 Youth Policy Cafe.
Hi everyone, my name is Boniface Nene, a senior policy research and advocacy at African Research Services Limited. It's a young company coming up.
Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Judith Nguli. I'm a lecturer at Moi University and I teach finance and management courses. And I also do a couple of research and I've focused much more on social impact research. I'm also a public policy analyst and I'm happy to be in this episode getting to teach vijana about public policy issues.
Yeah. And even before we tell guys what the channel is about and everything, I think it's important guys connect with us as well. So to begin with is how did we meet? Which is like, it's like a very straightforward one, but I'll throw that to Judy.
Oh, great.
Just in like a few words, like how did we meet? And I think then after she says that, everyone can give like their first impressions of everyone when they met.
Sure.
So Judy.
Sure. So July of 2019, I got an opportunity to be a young professional at Kipra. So, and we met there. That was the first place, like I set eyes on everyone here. And we clicked from the word go. We've worked together on various projects at work, or rather on a previous workplace. And it's such a good team. Yeah.
So your first impressions of everyone, you can start with Stella. Like it's like just like anything. Anything really.
So the first, I think we got into the induction room the first day and Stella must have been the third or the fourth person to arrive. And we actually didn't talk. 2-3 days along the training, I don't think we had a conversation.
Yeah.
But I could actually feel that we shared the same language of expressing things and looking at things in life. And I was really looking forward to talk to her. And the day we spoke, we clicked.
Yeah.
And we became best of friends at work. Mm-hmm. And apparently it's funny enough because people got to confuse us as at work and they thought I was Stella was me. I don't know how. Yeah, with the same height. Yeah, so, but yeah, I don't mind being confused with Stella. Yeah. Yeah.
And then maybe like over to you, Stella. First impression of me, I guess.
Wow, that's interesting. So this is the thing, guys. Samantha was working in the organization prior to us joining. So when we came for the first day in induction and all that, Samantha was just so confident and I mean, she was home and for us, we were quite new. So the impression was like, oh my God, this chick, ooh, she knows, like she's home. But for us, we were just new, young, and I mean, young into the organization. So that was the first impression. She was home, but with time we got to click with Samantha. Me and her worked on a couple of projects together. We had good moments, we had fights, but at the end of the day, it was like she's one of the persons that I really appreciate having worked with in the last 1 year when I worked as a young professional at Kipra.
Yeah. So, I think then, should I say my impression of you, Bonnie?
Yeah.
Bonnie was loud. You remember, I think we all used to laugh at Bonnie whenever he talked in class. Bonnie was loud, very opinionated. But again, he was one of those guys who, like, if you wanted something done, Bonnie was definitely like the go-to person. And then, so Bonnie, you can wrap up with Judith, your impression of Daktari.
Daktari, if I could talk about maybe I'd take a day. But
don't forget to say you are desk mates.
But really, what impressed me the first time I met Daktari, she was talkative, brave. Yeah, when we were discussing in the, you remember, fourth floor, seventh floor.
floor.
Yeah, and she was that bold lady. And again, we clicked because she was from lecturing. I was also from lecturing at Egerton. She was from Mon. So I think we connected. And then we found ourselves again, yeah. We are sharing the same desk, workplace. And that's how I got to know her.
We did our first lunch together. You
Yeah.
forgot to say that.
Actually, we ate, was it Githeri?
Yeah.
Funny food, because we didn't know the place. Yeah, we went to Akibanda. The rest is history.
Yeah. And I think maybe just over to our team strategist, the person who now sets the tone, tells us, by the guys, you need to get yourselves in check. STL, tell us about how we came together and the why as well. The how and the why.
So, I mean, one of the common thing among us is we had an opportunity to be trained as a policy analyst while we were working at the Kenya Institute for Public Policy Research and Analysis. We had an amazing training and also an amazing work experience, and we got to learn a lot about public policy, not only from a local level, but even an exposure of public policy in an international level. So I think one constant conversation we always had was, after 1 year, what next? After 1 year of staying at Kipra and acquiring of all these skills, what next? What can we do to make sure that we are trying to utilize the knowledge that we acquired and the skills that we acquired to contribute to the development agenda of the country? So we then settled on starting something which is sort of an opportunity for youths to connect and engage and talk issues on public policy. And I think that is actually what brought us together, because we felt like we are coming from different sectors, but we felt like there was one thing that was connecting us, that we want to have conversations around these sectors. We have Judy, who is in finance. We have Samantha, who is in social sectors, health, and right now transitioning to infrastructure and oil and gas. We have Monene in agriculture. Myself, I'm all over in renewable energy and other couple of social sector. So basically, I think the objective for us is really to have a conversation around youth and public policy. So
Yeah.
that is
I think
really
that's-
the motivation for us
Yeah.
starting the 254 Youth Policy Cafe.
And then, like, Daktari, now let me just throw it over to you. And this is, again, an intro so that guys know what to expect in terms of conversation. So what will we be tackling in terms of like our day-to-day engagement and our conversations on our social media pages? Because, again, we're also intending on going the blog and article direction, getting media attention and things like that. So what issues will we be addressing, and how will we identify some of those issues that we're looking at?
Sure. So yeah, as the name suggests, we are basically more of sensitizing the youth, and other stakeholders have not been left out, but we need to digest the public policies of this country, which apparently look a bit hard at a look, for them to be able to understand. So then what do we expect? We shall be talking about different issues. We might talk about BBI today. Tomorrow we might be talking about some other pertinent issue that is current, of course, because we need to be in touch with the current affairs. So, and every other time in our pages, we shall be updating information that still regarding in the confines of public policy, information that we feel can educate and engage the youth out there in understanding public policy, and also getting to appreciate the process of the entire process of public policy. Yeah, and I think time to time we'll get to engage in live chats and getting to have webinars and all that, so that we can keep this conversation active.
And I completely agree with you. And I think, again, the idea is to spark conversation as well. One thing that Kipra really gave us was that interest in public policy and wanting to understand and read documentation, which I think may be a bit of a disconnect with a lot of our age mates, probably. But maybe over to you, Boni, as the only gentleman sitting here. Why should men and women alike subscribe to the channel? Like, why are we the guys to listen to?
Definitely, I'm here to represent the boy child and to meet the truth and gender of the Constitution. Because if you realize that most of the time we'll be discussing issues touching the Constitution of Kenya, and so we don't start by breaking it. The organization that we formed will be discussing the issues concerning both men and women, as well as the youth. Because when you talk about the policies do not discriminate. If a policy is passed by the government, it does not say that this policy will be applied only to the youths, and it won't include either a female or the males. So generally, the cafe that we are starting is for everyone, and we welcome everyone. Be young, be old. This is a place you need to be. Because we've decided as youth, we won't sit down and just cry for the government to help. We've just decided to come out and do our bit. So we've decided this time round, you're not going to cry. Serikali's idea. No. We are here to impact.
You're right.
We are here to impact. And what we've realized, people don't have the information. There's a lot of information asymmetry. And that's a gap that you're coming to fill in. That's a gap that you want to correct so that we can move as a country. Because if you don't have information, you don't have power. Information is power. And that's why we are here, so that we can inform you. Yes.
And I think, let's move on to not complaining just because we are complaining, but complaining from an informed perspective. And I think that's what this channel will majorly seek to accomplish. And maybe just to state as disclaimers moving forward, and even as we go into future episodes, obviously our opinions are our opinions, our thoughts are our thoughts. They're not the thoughts of our employers or our former employer who we've actually spoken about with a lot of excitement during this introduction. And also, we're not a monopoly of thoughts. I think that's something that I think is important to convey. We are open to your input, your insights into various issues. And again, we're also here to build our capacity as well. Learning, especially when you're in a research space, never stops. There's always something new to get out of the conversation. But so thank you for subscribing, because I'm assuming if you're watching this, then you're probably either on our social media pages or you're following us on YouTube, or you know me.
What are our social media pages?
Oh yeah, by the way, what are our social media handles? So wait, the official group social media handle is at 254YPC for Twitter and 254 Youth Policy Cafe on LinkedIn. I think everyone can share their individuals. Let's start with Stella. The individual.
On Twitter, I use @Stephens, and Facebook, SCL Motuko. And on LinkedIn is official Stella Motuko.
I use Boneface Nene across all the social media pages, so you'll find me there.
I also use Samantha Luceno on Twitter and LinkedIn.
Oh, great. For my LinkedIn, I use Judith Nguli, PhD. Social media, not really. Facebook, I use Ndinda J. Nguli, and Twitter, Judith Nguli.
So welcome.
And to add more, so we really have a lot of engagement on our Twitter page and on our Facebook page and on our LinkedIn page. So guys, join on our link on our social media pages. Let's have conversations. Let's connect. Let's hear your thoughts on what you think on some of the pertinent public policy issues that we face in this country as youths and generally as Kenyans.
They should as well give us ideas of things they want us to talk about, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.